This was a huge announcement from the former president, and you mentioned there, this is crucial for service workers like waiters and waitresses, especially hotel workers here in Las Vegas. And I will note, it did get a very loud applause line at the rally yesterday in Las Vegas. But back to that point about the taxes on tips, a big announcement from the former president. Basically, what this means is that any wages that are earned through tips, Trump is saying we would no longer add taxes on them. That is something that people are required to report to the IRS, as you mentioned. I did talk with some hotel workers yesterday, some service workers here in Las Vegas, about how that is playing with them. And Anne-Marie, about 6 people told me that would change their vote. That is enough to make them switch from voting Democrat to Republican if Donald Trump is promising something like that to them.
No taxes on tips is huge.
Absolutely.
I was in the service industry. We've all waited tables or done something in the service industry. Imagine not having to pay taxes on your tips.
Absolutely. That is great, particularly given the fact that the culinary union is so big out there. I just looked it up. Any change in tip taxes would require an act of Congress. And according to the Trump campaign, the plan would be for Donald Trump, when reelected, he would ask Congress to do something about it. Keep in mind, that's one of the top things they got to do next year, because the Donald Trump tax cuts, the package from 2017 will expire next year, and this could be part of it.
But if you're a member of Congress, who wants to go against that? The Biden administration introduced those new IRS agents to find the people that were cutting the taxes, that were skipping out on those taxes with the tips. So you're seeing the contrast between the two campaigns, and I think this wins more voters.
In case you missed it, at his rally in Las Vegas yesterday, Donald Trump, in the sweltering heat, cooked Dementia Joe. If you watch my videos, you know that I've been calling for a landslide come November 5th. And what Trump did yesterday underscored everything I've been thinking. In case you didn't know this, there are nearly 25 million people, 25 million Americans who work in the service industry. And most of them rely on tips for a great part of their income. Currently, the IRS requires everybody in the service industry to declare and pay taxes on their tips. And in certain instances, the IRS requires employers to impute what they think may have been the income from those tips, even if the server didn't make those tips. With thousands of restaurants, literally thousands of restaurants closing across America, it only makes sense to cut taxes on tips. It'll help the restaurants stay open and keep these people employed. I'd rather see restaurants stay open and their employees employed and making money. But obviously, making money isn't important to the Democrats. But Trump knows it's important to the people. Here's what he said yesterday in Las Vegas.
So this is the first time I've said this, and for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. We're not going to do it, and we're going to do that right away, first thing in office, because it's been a point of contention for years and years and years, and you do a great job of service, you take care of people, and I think it's going to be something that really is deserved. More importantly, popular or unpopular. I do some unpopular things, too, if it's right for the country. I do what's right. But so those people that have jobs in restaurants, whatever the job may be, a tipping job, we're not going after for taxes anymore. This will be ended.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States. President Obama.
You can't keep getting away with it!
And then he followed up by posting this on Truth Social. I am the only candidate who has ever called for delivering relief to our wonderful service workers by not taxing their tips. It was my idea that tips should not be taxed, and only I will get that done. And I will do it immediately upon my return to the White House. Crooked Joe Biden has taken the total opposite approach, trying to tax more and more of their tips, even hiring 88, I thought it was 82, but 88,000 IRS agents to collect. In fact, Crooked Joe substantially increased the reporting requirements for workers in 2023, and would go still further if I wasn't there to watch over. Biden could never and will never get done what I proposed, just like he never got student loan forgiveness done. With Biden, it's all talk and no action. Hopefully, ranking file union members, and that's going to be important, union leadership itself, and workers all over the country, both union and non-union, will support Donald J. Trump, because I'm no talk and all action. Trump keeps his promises and stands with our great workers. Promises made, promises kept. To me, this is checkmate. It's the ultimate checkmate on the Democrats. There is no possible way that the libnuts can respond in opposition to this. They have complained for years, over and over, that Trump only helps the rich people. He only gets tax breaks for rich and corporations. Well, now what you got to say? He has proposed a massive tax break for over 25 million Americans. How in the world, how can you possibly oppose that? Well, they oppose it in the only way that they know how, to attack Trump. They attack the man. They can't attack the policy. Oh, the evil orange man. Oh, the mean tweets. What about what he just said? Nope, they can't touch that. To prove that to you, here's what the union president said after hearing about Trump's proposal to release service workers from income taxes on their tips. You won't believe it. And I love what this guy wrote on Twitter. Big shocker. The most vile and disgusting organization in the world cares more about politics than the people they supposedly represent. The Bible is incorrect. There's the 10th level of hell solely for the culinary union. And this was put out by the culinary union, specifically Ted Papa George. Quote, "For decades, the culinary union has fought for tipped workers' rights and against unfair taxation. Obviously, you didn't get anywhere. Relief is definitely needed for tip earners, okay, but Nevada workers are smart enough to know the difference between real solutions and wild campaign promises from a convicted felon." Seriously, bro? Are you really going to go there? You should have just not put anything out. You should have just kept your mouth shut. But we all know that you couldn't. It wasn't possible for you to stay quiet. Can you believe that he put that out? Actually, I can. The only response they have for anything at this point is to attack Trump. Convicted felon, convicted felon. Get over it. We're still going to vote for him. And because they can only say convicted felon, they are underscoring that fact as well. That entire trial in New York was nothing but to get Trump convicted so you could scream convicted felon at every opportunity. Unfortunately, this isn't going to work in this instance because there's no possible way to come out in opposition of people keeping more of their own money. But there is a reason why the union president had to say what he said, and that's because he's an operative for Dementia Joe.
Come on, how are you doing? It's good to be back. Well, I know that, Ted.
Yep, that's Ted, the same guy who wrote the statement about Trump's plan. Imagine being such a sellout to Dementia Joe and Kamala Harris that you would frown upon your own union members keeping more of their hard-earned money. What a useless cuck he is. And now every single one of his union members knows that.
How you been?
When you guys fight for workers' rights, it benefits everybody, including people who are not with this union.
Absolutely.
But you guys are lifting up the voice of so many people, and in particular, women in the workplace who often are overlooked and underpaid. And your strength gives so many people, regardless of their gender, the ability to know that they're being seen and heard and that someone is on their side.
These libnuts always put politics over people. Always. He has pledged to protect Dementia Joe and Kamala, even if it means sacrificing the interest of his union members. And this isn't going to end well for him whatsoever. Trump was able to expose the Democrats and greedy unions in one fell swoop. With one policy proposal, he exposed them all, like the snakes that they are. Trump just solidified the service industry and picked up a ton of blue voters, or rather, people who used to vote blue.
You know that his decision to announce the thing about tips was not something that was focus grouped. That was not something that was part of a 10-point plan that his economic team came up with. He realized the value of it and he jumped on it. I think the fact that the service unions had to put out a statement so quickly is evidence of how effective that plank could be. And it, once again, as we've seen with a lot of the other unions, shows the division between the union's leadership themselves and their members. Their members are going to love this. The members don't care what their union.
Look at it this way. Under Trump's proposal, under that plan that he just said yesterday, every server, waiter, Uber driver, masseuse will see an immediate increase in their income. Immediate. Anyone, and I do mean anyone, that works and receives tips is going to get a tax break, and inevitably they are going to have more money in their pocket. How can anyone possibly be against that? Isn't that what they screamed about for years? Like I said, Trump always gives money to corporations and the rich. Okay, I'm going to give these people a break. Oh no, please don't do that. We can't have service people keeping their tips. What are you doing, Trump? Go back to the rich people. Don't do this to the little people. You've been exposed. This is absolutely a checkmate move. I don't see how anyone can possibly oppose this, except maybe the 88,000 new IRS agents who aren't going to have anything to do. Dementia Joe was hell-bent, and is still hell-bent, on unleashing those people against Americans. And what's funny is I bet if you took all of the tips and all the taxes due on all of the tips on every service worker in America, it still wouldn't add up to all the money he has sent over to that country over there to buy missiles and everything else to waste money. It wouldn't even add up to what he has sent to that country. And of course, being here on YouTube, I can't even mention the name of that country. But you know what I mean. It's been billions. Tens of billions of dollars have been sent over there, and I guarantee you, if you add up all the taxes that you would get from servers, it wouldn't even add up to what he sent to that country. That's absurd. Help Americans first, worry about those countries later. It's certain they will attack Trump for this. But then again, maybe they won't, because right now, nobody's talking about it. This morning, none of the libnut media shows even mentioned it. Quiet, Zippo, nada, nothing, not a word about this. If you didn't hear Trump say it, or if you're not seeing it on a video like mine, you don't even know it happened. But unfortunately for Dementia Joe, most of the people in the service industry are younger people. These are people on social media, and a lot of them, a ton of them, are on TikTok. You know, the social network that Trump just got on. It has like 6 million followers to Dementia Joe's 300,000 or whatever. Those people are going to spread the word. Go ahead, spend millions of dollars on commercials. Nobody's watching them. Trump can go ahead and spend some money on some influencers and get the word out about this, and there's nothing Dementia Joe can do about it. So in essence, it might take a couple days, but you can bet service workers across the country are going to hear about this proposal. Trump's plan to stop collecting taxes on tips is pure political genius. It cannot be opposed by anybody with a rational mind. And on top of it all, it's great for America. That's what you call political checkmate. Hey, listen, the big debate between Dementia Joe and Trump is scheduled for June 27th, if it happens. And I'll be broadcasting it live, and I want you to join me. If you've watched any of my live broadcasts, you know we have a ton of fun. Over 300,000 people watched my live broadcast of the Vegas rally yesterday. It was awesome. If you're watching this later, 300,000 people tuned in to see my live broadcast of the Las Vegas rally, and I gave away a fabulous trip. So be sure to join me for the big debate. It will be undoubtedly a lot of fun, and who knows, you might win something. Just click here to register to be notified as soon as I go live. Thanks, and talk to you soon. Hope to see you at the debate.